Okay, so we've got a former president squaring off against one of Hollywood's biggest nights. And let me tell you, this is way more than just some celebrity feud. We're talking about a serious clash over free speech, media power, and the law. So let's get right into it.
And it all kicked off with this. Just one word, in all caps. This was Donald J. Trump's instant response to a joke made at the Grammy Awards. He didn't just dislike the joke, he called it false and, crucially, defamatory.
Right, so that immediately makes you wonder, doesn't it? What on earth was said during a live award show that could make a former president threaten to sue? Okay, to really get what's happening, we've got to go back to the source. Let's rewind to the exact moment on that Grammy stage that started this whole firestorm. So during the show, the host, Trevor Noah, makes this joke. And in that joke, he connects Donald Trump directly to Jeffrey Epstein's infamous island. Now, here's what's really interesting. Trump's response wasn't just some vague, angry rant. No, it was incredibly specific, like a laser beam targeting the absolute core of what the joke was claiming. And this really lays it all out, doesn't it? You've got these two totally conflicting stories right next to each other. Over here, a claim made on live TV, seen by millions. And on the other side, a complete and total denial from the person it's about. This is the heart of it. Trump's entire argument boils down to these two words: never been. That's it. It's an absolute no wiggle room denial. And that, right there, is what sets the stage for a potential legal battle. So, with that super specific denial, this whole thing suddenly shifts. It's not just a public spat anymore. It's now heading into potential legal territory. Which brings up a huge question. Can a joke actually be considered defamation in a court of law? Okay, to get the legal side of this, you have to understand the key concept here, which is defamation. And look, this isn't just about someone getting their feelings hurt. For something to be legally defamatory, it has to be a false statement presented as a fact that actually does real damage to a person's reputation. But that leads to the real million-dollar question, right? Does a joke told by a comedian on TV carry the same legal weight as, say, a news report? Is comedy protected? Does it get a special pass? Well, for a public figure like Donald Trump, winning a case like this is like climbing Mount Everest. It's incredibly difficult. He wouldn't just have to prove the statement was false. He'd also have to prove it caused real damage. And then, and this is the big one, he has to prove actual malice. That means he has to show that the person who said it knew it was false or just didn't care if it was true or not. And let me tell you, that actual malice standard is one of the toughest things to prove in all of American law. You know, this really goes way beyond just Trump and Trevor Noah. This whole situation is a major test of where the lines are drawn today for comedy, for media responsibility, and for political speech in general. Think about it. Does the threat of a lawsuit make comedians pull their punches? If a line is crossed on a huge network like CBS, who's on the hook? The host? The network? The producers? This stuff is right at the heart of our modern culture clashes. So, where does that leave us? In today's world, with everything being so divided and outrage happening in an instant, can something ever be just a joke anymore? Or are we at a point where every single thing said in public, whatever the context, could end up having real legal consequences? It really all boils down to these three things: power, speech, and accountability. That's the framework for everything we see in media today. And this whole incident, whether it actually ends up in a courtroom or not, it forces all of us to think about some really big questions. Who really holds the power? Who gets to have a voice? And ultimately, who is held accountable when a line is crossed?